Hi everyone, and welcome back to your reading for today. Now, our reading and learning journey is really closely linked today because I'm going to show you a really good example of an explanation text, and we're going to think about what we're going to need to include when we come to write our own later this week. So, if we look at our task wheel here, we've done a lot of learning. We've thought about questions we want to answer and what we already know about hedgehogs and gardens and food chains. We've thought about what the task is. We've thought about lots of ideas about food chains, about gardens, about hedgehogs. And we're coming around to the let's tell someone part. Okay, so we're going to do the let's do it and the let's tell someone part at the same time, because we've learnt so much about how important hedgehogs are to our gardens and food chains, and what happens if we take one part of that food chain out. Everything gets out of balance. We need to tell people about it, and we're going to tell people about it using an explanation text. Now, explanations means we're telling someone how something works, or perhaps telling someone why something works, or how it is important and why it is important. We're going to read together an example of an explanation text now and think about what we need to include. Then you're going to have a go at explaining something in your house to me, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. So this explanation text is called How Can We Stay Healthy? See if you can follow along as I'm reading. There are lots of things we can do to stay healthy and to keep illnesses away. Changing what we eat and how much we exercise can help us to improve our health. Read on for lots of useful facts and tips to help you be the healthiest you can. So, in an explanation text, we always have an introduction, and we also always have a title, which is a question. We know it's a question because it's got a question mark. So we have a question for the title. Okay. Food and drink. All living things need food and drink to survive. The type of food we eat and the types of drink we have are very important. So here we have a subheading to tell our readers what this whole section is going to be about. So I'm going to write that down here because that's something we need to include in our explanation text about hedgehogs and how important they are for our gardens. There are 6 groups of food. These are fruit and vegetables, starchy foods, meat, dairy, fat and sugary foods. Some of these foods are better for us than others. Fruit and vegetables and starchy food. Fruit, vegetables and starchy food are very good for us because they contain vitamins and minerals. I'm going to underline those words there, vitamins and minerals, because that is some scientific vocabulary, and we want to include lots of that tier 3 vocabulary that we've gathered in our explanation texts. We should try to include these in every meal and eat them as snacks. You could swap your chocolate snack for a crunchy apple or try a juicy pear. Meat and dairy. Meat and dairy food like cheese and milk are also good for us, but we shouldn't eat these more than 2 or 3 times a week. 3 times a day. Meat and dairy foods help us to have strong bones and muscles. A cold glass of milk with your breakfast or lunch is a good choice. And we've got another subheading down here that's slightly different. It's a did you know? Did you know sugary treats are bad for your teeth? You shouldn't eat these too much, and you should try to eat them at mealtime. So we might have some subheadings that have got questions, like a handy hint. Healthy plate. Now here we can see another feature we need for our explanation text is we might have some diagrams or pictures to help our readers understand what we're writing about. So we might include a diagram or a picture of a food train in ours. Here's some more information as well. And again, we've got another picture to help us and some bullet points to tell us what kind of exercises we could do. So that is an explanation text explaining all about what healthy food is and what healthy drink is. So your task for me today is to find something in your house and to try and explain how it works. It could be something, it could be a toy or something that you have. It could be an electronic device that you want to try and explain to me. Okay, so I'd like you just to have a practice of explaining something that you know about. Okay? It might be that you really enjoy baking at home and you could explain to me the steps that you need to make a cake and what's important to remember. It could be if you've got a pet at home that you explain to me how you look after them. So what steps you take to look after them, how important it is to look after them. So explain to me what you need to do. Do you need to give them food in the morning, take them out for a walk? It could be an explanation of the season, so the fact that we're coming into spring and the difference between autumn, winter, spring and summer and what we might expect to find. It could be anything that you could explain to someone else. It could be your favourite toy and how it works, but I would like you just to practice explaining it. Imagine that an alien has come down from outer space and it's your job to explain to them how something works or how important something is and take them through those steps. Ready so that we can write our explanation text. Okay, have a little go. If you've got any questions, then send me a message on Dojo. I can't wait to see your videos to show me and explain to me something in your house.